as consumers of roughly 160 pounds of sugar per person annually. According to recent reports, we need to be asking what the cost of our consumption is on our bodies and our health. Whether it's the sugar in what we eat or drink, and this includes the lights, juices, sodas, and some alcoholic beverages, we owe it to ourselves to understand that sugar is making us fat and disrupting our body organs. Another more subtle but equally detrimental effect is sugar's action on the brain left bracket right bracket. Some general signs you need to know are a strong drive to eat sugar when you are depressed. When you feel upset or stressed, you automatically turn to sugar for comfort. Obsession with sugar or sugary food. No matter where you are, working at office, walking in the park, partying with your friends, your thoughts are constantly stolen by sugar or sweet food. Sugar trigger defensive mechanism. You don't want to be told about not eating sugar. You don't want people criticize your addiction. The slightest comment about eating sugar or sugar addiction symptoms upsets you and generates defensive reactions. Energy depleted body. When sweet foods become a habit, you start to rely more on these than on your natural energy resources of your body. Hence you feel weak, lethargic and depressed. Sugar habits. This is when you eat sugar or sugar food at about the same time each morning, afternoon, evening or even night. When you skip the sugar hour, you find yourself very anxious or depressed. Sugar snacks. When you are bored. When you are in a boring situation, you grab a high sugar snack to keep you occupied. This is one of the most important sugar addiction symptoms. Now, why exactly does eating sugar trigger a strong desire for more sweets or calories? Eating sugar triggers the release of opiates in the brain. Opiates are chemicals which make you feel good. For anyone who isn't sure what opiates are, understand that they are in the same class of drugs as heroin or morphine. Eating sugar will also begin a cycle of craving or compulsion for more of the same feeling that was caused by the release of the opiates. You may not get high the way you would with a powerful narcotic, but that doesn't mean it doesn't impact your mood or your brain. We'll talk more about sugar addiction next time. Until then, you have two assignments. Consume absolutely no sugar containing foods. For one day, keep a journal of how you feel and what you struggle with throughout that day. And the next 2 days. The solution to any problem begins with the identification of the problem. Let's determine for sure that sugar addiction is a problem for you. And then, let's deal with it. This isn't really a rant about sugar, because let's face it, you've heard it all before. You are well aware that too much sugar makes you fat and has ominous links to type 2 diabetes. You know the facts, so I'm not going to patronize you with a concoction of sensationalist stats. There is one question I need to ask, though it's nothing special, but it is important. Are you addicted to sugar? Take a minute, think about it. Addiction is when you cannot control a behavior or action. Can you control how much sugar you eat? If you have ever heard the term sugar blues, all you need to know is that your blood sugar and your health will rise and fall like the Roman Empire if you eat like a king. When it comes to sugar, sugar's effect inside our bloodstream is even more straightforward. When we eat or drink sugar, our blood sugar goes up, our insulin goes up, and we throw that metabolic switch that says store body fat. Meanwhile, as we get fatter, we continue to overtax the pancreas and develop insulin sensitivity, which leads into diabetes. The picture being painted is not so pretty, is it? Here's something amazing. Even thinking about a sweet food we love can trigger a chemical response in our brains to eat it. Essentially, the chemical response and memory trace which eating sugar creates inside our brains urges us to go back for more. Meanwhile, that false sense of comfort we achieved from eating our sweets keeps us returning to the source over and over again, and we form the insidious habit of associating comfort with food. The truth is that most of us avoid thinking about the harm sugar or similarly damaging high carbohydrate diets are causing to our bodies. We do this because of the pleasure it gives us. It's even more pronounced when we use it as a reward or as a release from our busy, stressed out lives. Sugar does make us feel better for a brief while, perhaps, but nearly all of us have at one time or another experienced the downside that comes with the crash, even if we didn't know what was going on exactly inside of us to make us crash. The ultimate tragedy is that while we might acknowledge that we have a sugar challenge, some of us might even be self-proclaimed addicts. We also tend to feel powerless to do anything about it. Having worked with many people who struggle with severe sugar cravings, I have come across some surefire ways of battling sugar addiction. Take every hour, one step at a time. Start by giving up sugar today, just today. Focus on tomorrow when it comes. Give up sugar. This sounds harsh, but like any other drug, you can't just cut back. If you are truly addicted, it's all or nothing. Getting the taste is just a tease, and will bring back all those feelings that come with a sugar hit. Ditch white bread. It has a high G, which means it's quickly broken down and digested. It won't be long before you start getting cravings. Instead, go for whole grains. They are much more satisfying. Beef up protein. Protein takes longer to digest than carbohydrates, so including a little protein in every meal will keep you feeling fuller and cravings at bay. Just be aware that if you take up the challenge, you'll have to step out of your comfort zone for a while. For a while, you'll miss it like an old friend who has moved away, but like anything else, you'll get used to it. And I promise you, once you experience the wonderful clarity of mind and feel the natural energy your body provides without sugar's artificial high, you will never want to go back.